Hi everyone, welcome back, and today I'm going to be doing something else with a window envelope. So only because I have quite a few of these and I really enjoyed doing the one I did last time. And this time I've chosen to cut it down, so I've just trimmed the edges so I could open it, and then I cut the top off because the top was all raggedy like this. But the photo that I want to put in here is too big. So this is another old photo. It's on a lovely postcard type photograph. It's actually my dad when he was in Boy Scouts. So I wanted to be able to use that. So I'm not sure, he must be about 10, maybe 10. It doesn't actually say. And I want to put it so that it comes over there. Again, so it'll protect the photo a bit and I'll still be able to pull it out and look at it. So a bit of a different idea today. The first thing that I want to do, I want to use this paper. Now I'm pretty sure I'm going to use this side of the paper, and I want to cut the hole that matches this out of it. So that's why I've got the second envelope here. Because I have so many, I'm just going to pull this one apart, and I will take this bit of acetate or whatever it is out. And the reason I'm pulling that out is so that I can actually know where this hole has to go. That's all, no other reason. And then I'll throw this envelope away. Let's clip my cord from my microphone's flopping around, so I just had to stop and clip that, sorry. Let's keep going. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got a different surface today. I'm in a new position. Well, same position, but I've moved my craft room around yet again because I wanted to change it up and make it feel more open, and that's what's happened. I've got a really good open feeling. I must give you another look at my craft room soon. So, because I want this to be the same, I'm just going to draw around those curves like that and then down. Don't think I need a ruler. I think I can freehand that, just gently using the edge as a guide. I've got that outline now, and I want to make the edge, the curve on the edge around these corners to look quite nice. So I'm using the crocodile or the big bite, and I'm positioning my paper so that the edge of that punch that I'm about to do, I've got it set at the largest punch that it can go, and I've just punched that so it's on that curve. So when I cut, hopefully I won't have to cut that, you know, the actual curve right in the corner. I thought this might be a way to do it. I do use my punch like this if I want to cut a slot in something. It works the same as doing this. Well, I'm hoping it'll work the same as what I'm doing here. Now, just by going through with my knife, I'm just using a Stanley knife because I've lost my craft knife. This will work just as well though. Sometimes it pulls on the paper a little bit, but I will fix that. And then I can just take that out, hopefully. There you go. I'll just have to tidy that edge a little bit, but it's pretty good otherwise. I knew I came off my line on this one. Now, if you're not happy with that, you can ink the edges and rub the line out. You can see a bit of pencil there. I'll do that in a moment. I just want to check if this is going to work on top of here. Yeah, that's pretty good. So it's going to go down, and I've made it so it's long enough on this side. It works on the top, and I've got plenty of room to turn it under. I'm just getting used to my new positioning because I am sitting in a completely different position to film now. So you'll just have to forgive me while I get used to where the piece should be compared to the camera position. The next step is to glue that paper down over the top of this. So I'm doing the whole envelope, and I will be cutting some of it down, but I'm happy just to waste a little bit of paper for the ease of just sticking it down onto the whole envelope rather than trying to cut it down now when it's still a bit flimsy and harder to handle. And then just move it so that it's in place over the top of your window. I've cut this down, cut the excess paper off, and I want to position the photo in the centre of this window that I've left. To do that, I know that the edge of the photo is around about here, so I want to be coming in at say 3.5 inches, I think. Just check this. Looks to be about 3.5 inches would be right, because that's the crease of the envelope down here at the 4.25, so I'll give it 3.5. I might turn it over, it's easier on the paper to get the score going, much easier. So that's the score line for there. And then this can flip over now. It is quite thick. I might turn it this way first because then I can find that score line a lot easier on the scrapbook paper than I can on the envelope. But that's actually quite good to have it nice and thick like that, because it will give it some weight when it's in the journal then. Before I keep going with putting the photo in, I do want to put some card on the back of here. This is a bit of the offcut that I had, and that will work fine there. And I will need some up here as well, so I've got this other piece which is also offcut. Just so when you open that up to get your photo out, you don't see the envelope that's there underneath it. And then again on this edge, I need to put something on here as well, because you will see that when it's folded up. In fact, what I might do, instead of having it up like that, where's my photo? I'll just put my photo back in. I think I'm going to put a little flap on this one. So this time I'm putting the glue down on the envelope because I know that my paper is big, too big. So that now I have something that folds down. Now before I go on, I want to work out where this has got to fold down, and also what I'm going to do to seal the edges. I'll just bring my scoreboard back in. And I think probably around the, it's going to stick up a little bit, so probably the 4 inch, will that do it? Let's see. I'll pop that back in. Need to give it a bit of leeway in case I can't get it all the way in. And then probably the 4.25, I think. That will be better. Alright, so now I'll stick the edges down. I'm also going to put a little bit of glue down here because the photo's poking in a tiny bit too far, and I don't want it to poke in that far. I'm not going to put a notch in there. I thought about it, but I've now got too much thick paper there for a notch to work very successfully. The next step is to take my 1 inch circle punch and punch some circles out of this bit of leftover. And what I want to do now is put a hole through the centre. I've stacked and glued those together, the 3 circles, and I think I'm just going to give myself a mark and eyeball that centre piece. Here's my pencil. So I think maybe that looks like about the correct place. I could measure it. I've never had much luck in measuring these tiny little things. Much better for me personally just to eyeball that and hope for the best. And then that's going to go in there. Now I could do the eyelet through this piece here. I've already stuck that down, but I'd still get that to work. But I don't want it to scratch the photo when I'm putting it in. and because I'm putting the photo in face down, it might scratch it. So much better for me to actually put another piece on there and glue the piece down. As I said, because this is such a busy thing, busy piece of paper, you can't really even tell when you're looking at that this is an extra piece on here. So that's the plan. And then the length of the piece of paper, which is 2 3/4. Now, centre of the piece of paper will be 3/8, so it'll be 1 3/8. So I'll just measure the centre of the piece of paper. 1 2 1 2 3/8 is here, and that doesn't look like it's correct at all. Let's try again. What have I got? I've got a 2 3/4 piece, not quarter. So 3/4 is 6/8. So that's 1 3/8. I must have measured that wrong. I measured 2/8. Okay, that's what happened. 1 2 3, 1 3/8. That's much better in the centre there. So this is going to be my centre piece, and then this is going to go on here. So I just want to work out where it's got to go. So down a bit, because otherwise I'll draw that line a bit further actually. Otherwise I won't get this open if that sits on the edge there. And this piece has got to go here, so I can wrap something around it. So that's where my hole's got to go. That was a pretty roundabout way, but I got there in the end. Punch the hole. I know which side's up because I got the line on there. I'll rub that out in a moment. That's going to get an eyelet in it now. So this has to come up and meet with those two lines. So that's going to sit there and that'll come down. This can get rubbed out, this top line. Actually, I'll rub it out after because I want to get it in the correct place first. Now my photo should just slide in there, and when it's not in there, the added advantage of covering that inside is that you then have something to look at in there if you take your photo out. So I'll just slide this in here into the position that it needs to go, which is there. I know it'll stick up a little bit, which will be good when I want to get it out, and that can come down there. Now on this side I need to work out how I'm going to tie this on. What I might do is just put the string all the way around and tie it to the one tie. I think that might look quite good just to have it sort of tied up. Yep. So before I do that, I do want to put a bit more on it to make it like decorate the front up a bit more, etc. So what I've done is got a piece of cord and wrapped it around that thing there, and then I'm just going to tie it up like this. So I'll just bring it over a couple of times, and then I can wrap it around the back of this. And I quite like all the cord lines that it makes on here. So that's how I'll be closing it and then popping it into the journal or something else. Now I could of course chop it off because the photo is not that big. If I wanted to, I can chop it off here. I don't think I will. I'd have to chop the top as well. So I think I'll leave it, because what I've thought is it'll make a really good place to put a document, because it's long enough that it'll take a document. So for example, I could put like a copy of his birth certificate or something in there with it, and yet I can still get the photo out, and also if I put a certificate or something like that in there, I can get that out as well to have a look at it. So to finish it off, I've got a couple of letters. So these are a couple of the calligraphy chipboards still, and I'm going to put his initials. So LJ. My mum always used to call him LJ. In fact, a lot of people in the family used to call him LJ. So this is another idea on how to use your window envelopes, and also how to store your family stuff. So you could put a number of documents in here actually. Now because I have put this piece over the top, I want to try and disguise that a little bit. I mean, it's quite disguised anyway. You probably can't even see that on camera because I've somehow, by miraculously not even thinking I meant to, lined the bottom edge of it up with the line of the paper here. So the actual paper, but I can see it. So I thought I would try and maybe put some tickets on there. I'm not sure how well these are going to work, but I just thought if I put some tickets like down here, these are Tim Holtz tickets, I'm assuming. They might, no, I'm pretty sure they're all not real tickets in here. Just thought if I got some and kind of popped them along the edge here so that they hide that thing and they don't interfere with this, but they'll hide that line. I just wanted to see how many I'd need. Already got one of them. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it the whole way long. Don't see any point in only doing it half measure. So if I did that, what I could do is cut them off and then use the bottom as well, if it's, you know, still viable to do that. All right, this is the way I'm going to do it, definitely. So start with this one and put it here. And this one here too, I can use the other end. Just see how this goes. Now I will trim and see how we go, what we can use and what we can't use again. Also noticed I need to trim this, I've put it on the edge. Okay. If you're doing this, make sure you don't cut away the bottom of the envelope, that'd kind of defeat the purpose. Kind of just doing one ticket at a time as I get to it. So these bits, to make sure they don't stick together, because some of them have got a bit of glue on them, but these bits I can use in another project. I could do a similar thing, so they can go back into the packet. So there you go, that's done. I've got the picture here. I can take it out, I can put a certificate. I might find some of his scouting paperwork I can put in here. I think I do have some, and then I've got it tied up here so it's not going to go anywhere, not going to open up, and then I've got my little row of tickets along the bottom, and I've got something that I can put into my memorabilia journal. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Deborah. Cheers.